Author, musician, and artist Shane W. Evans is joining me in studio. He's here to talk to us about his book, Chocolate Me, which he wrote with Taye Diggs. Hello.
Hello to you.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Now, we were having a chat
Yes.
before we started this interview, and you said you were going to play a song for me.
Yes.
What song are you going to play for me? You don't need to do it now. I don't want to put you on the spot.
I'm trying to figure it out. You did put me on the spot, though.
Okay, well, you can figure it out, and we can have a chat while you figure it out.
I think I know. Okay, yes.
Okay. Now, I'm holding this book, Chocolate Me. You wrote this with your friend Taye Diggs. Now, you said you met Taye when you were 15.
Yes.
Tell me about your relationship together.
Like, it's brothers, you know? It's brothers that really, really get along. Because I think there are some brothers that, like, because he's got two other brothers, two sisters, you know? So it's like I became a part of the family later in life, and then we were the older brothers that were really close, you know? So we kind of just, I'm going to use a word, we just would vibe off one another, you know? He taught me a lot about the theater, naturally, and relationships too, you know? So it was kind of like two brothers that live in different places, and then we just touch base at school, you know? It was that kind of relationship.
Now, when the two of you sat down and decided you were going to work on books together, how did this come about? When did you decide, hey, we're going to write children's books?
Well, I think you got to rewind the clock, I think, to college.
Okay.
So we were in a band together playing music. And during that time is when we really started collaborating, writing, collaboration. So, but it was through music. And then I was doing visual art and he was doing the theatrical arts. And then so like we would touch base in this band. The band was called Zoo Trip. And so we were doing music like Fishbone, I don't know if this is Fishbone, Living Color, like funk type music, yeah. So we were writing together then. Then when we finished college, we go different directions. I go the route of, you know, illustrating children's books. He goes the route of Broadway, movies. And so then we, as brothers, as friends, we kept moving along. Then one day, when we were in college, I did a photo assignment. So he was part of the photo assignment. And I wanted from the person, each person in this photography book it was, to tell me a story about blackness. That's the name of the book. And he wrote a piece for me called Chocolate Me, like when we were maybe 20. So then 7 or 8 years after we graduated, I had this, I pulled the book out one day and I was like, this right here, this could be a book. So then I just went back to him and I said, what do you think about, you know, doing a book? So then we started to pursue publishing. I had already been in that world. And it's interesting because I thought it was going to be an instant sell. You know, he's famous. I've been, you know, I've been doing books. But it was actually a little bit more challenging than I thought to get somebody to see the vision.
Yeah.
You know, finally, you know, Macmillan, the publisher, they saw the vision in the two people as individuals and the friendship. You know. So from that place is where it started to grow.
Tell me about the first time you read Chocolate Me.
Interesting. As from the original poem perspective, I felt sad. It's interesting. I didn't think about it then, but I felt sad. But the photograph that I took with it was very dignified. You know, I'll say what the image was. It was Taye butt naked, okay, except for one sock on one foot, and then he was turned face that direction, you know. And he chose. We kind of chose the idea, and then he had one fist clenched and one hand open, you know. And so it was an expression, I think, of artistically, it was an expression of self-will, you know, to command to say like Chocolate Me is good, you know. And so then the second time around, you know, this doesn't reflect, it reflects the nakedness of a child, like going through struggle, I think. And so, you know, you can read poems different based on the way it's presented. So, you know, the read changes at each time.
Now, I don't know if you've had much time to familiarize yourself with what's going on here, particularly with school children. We recently had some girls from a high school in Pretoria protesting because they felt that their natural hair wasn't welcome there. And it's interesting to hear that these same conversations are happening at different times all over the world. When you hear that that's happening here in South Africa, when you're sitting here with your Chocolate Me book, how does that make you feel?
Well, that's the feel question is good, interesting one because it makes me feel like timing is very thoughtful, you know, because we have been working on that book for all these years, and then we're still having some of the same dialogues that maybe our parents had, you know. And that's, I don't know if it's fine or not, but it's sometimes we have to be reminded of the beauty that we have both inside and on the outside. And that since that's happening, you know, in the United States, it's happening here, maybe it's happening in Europe, timing is just everything. So everyone has to be mindful of just keeping up with what they do. If I would have given up and not said that Chocolate Me, no, don't, publisher that says we don't want to do it, I'm done, you know, then it wouldn't have got made. And I did start to hear the children, like from that side, on you watching Facebook, and you see these beautiful stories of these young ladies. They're like, no, 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 we want to wear our hair like this. It might seem simple to somebody else, but when I'm going to use a word, but when you're oppressed inside of a place, you know, and you have to do the same thing that everybody else is doing, it's like, no, eventually someone has to stand up and say, no, this is me, Chocolate Me, you know, that kind of idea. So I don't know, I feel good. I'm glad that we did it when we did it, because this book has been out for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.